Well, let's move on now to the line 5d3, which is the so-called Oxford variation, named after a number of players who were at Oxford, notably Leonard Barden, Derek Horseman and Rafi Persitz. And after this move d3, f4, d5, f takes e5, knight takes e4, d3, it looks at first sight as if black has got a winning check on h4. You know, I mean, this move, queen h4 check, is ever so tempting, and a lot of people have not been able to resist the temptation. Unfortunately for black, it does seem to pretty much lose for him, as we're about to see. After queen h4 check, white plays g3. You have to play that. You can't go king e2 because you get checkmated here. So g3 is definitely the move. Black goes knight takes g3, and then we do not take back because we'd lose our rook, hg, queen takes here, but instead we play knight f3, hitting the queen. Okay, queen needs to drop back, and you can only go to h5 because otherwise white will be taking this knight off. So queen h5 maintains the pin on this pawn on h2, but now white's king is no longer threatened along this diagonal. The queen's gone away, so you can take time out to calmly whip off this pawn on d5. And this position is actually very, very bad for black. He can do several things. I mean, he can play, in this game he played bishop g4, Saxe-Petran, Hungarian Championship 1973, and he can also he can take the rook, and we'll look at that first actually. If he goes knight takes h1, then white goes after this rook over here, knight takes c7 check. After king d8 he has the rook, and now black's tried a couple of moves in this position. He's tried going here, but the problem is that this knight is probably more trapped than this one, and meanwhile white has got some very useful centre pawns, and this king is going to be here for the duration. Have a lot of trouble getting away from the centre. So after bishop g4, white can play bishop g2, knight c6, d4, and now bishop e7 is probably the best thing to do. And in this position, we're actually following a game between Noskov and Kovanova from Moscow 2006. Now, analysing with the computer warmly recommended me to play bishop e3 here, and after king c8 to go queen e2. And on the next move, after Noskov's bishop takes h1, and then Kovanova's king to c8, here the computer wanted to play bishop f4, and after king b8 to go d5. And both of these appear to be just winning for white. You know, white's got an overwhelming position here. You just have to watch out for some tricks. Now, if we go back to knight takes a8, and I'll just show you this again from the knight takes d5 moment. Black takes the rook straight away, white takes on c7 check, king d8, knight takes a8. Right, now instead of bishop g4, bishop e7 has also been played, but does not appear to be very much better. White can go here, he's going after this knight as usual, bishop h4 check, king f1. Now black can try and rescue the knight with this move, but then white can play this, queen e1. Looks strange at first, but we're pinning this knight against the bishop on h4, so the knight can't move because the h4 bishop would fall. And meanwhile there's no dangerous moves with the knight. So okay, black can try and launch rescue operations with this, but he is just losing. Knight takes h4, queen takes h4, queen takes f2, and then on Queen G4, White played Bishop D2, and Black really had nothing. And this was a game between Klimenko and Navabi from Yerevan 1999, and I think it pretty much establishes that that White is winning after Black takes the rook. You can run it through Ribka or Fritz. I think they'll just reconfirm this. White just needs to play with due care and attention.